One of the challenges to the gospel today is known as pluralism, the idea that there are many paths to salvation. Well, one of the statements in the theology survey gets at this directly. The statement says God accepts the worship of all religions, including Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. Now, that's not true. For one, these religions are actually contradictory. So how can contradictory religions teach the same thing? And we know that God does not accept the worship of all religions. In fact, we know the Bible plainly teaches there is only salvation in Jesus Christ. As Christ himself says, I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Well, as you study the results of this survey, one very interesting finding is the longitudinal study of evangelicals on this question. We first had this statement added to the survey back in 2016. And in that year, 48% of evangelicals agreed with this erroneous statement of pluralism. They affirmed pluralism. That's nearly half. That was alarming. But as we see this survey unfold every 2 years, and as we get to 2022, we see an even more alarming trend. The number has now ticked up to 56%. And each time we offer this survey, it just steadily increases, which means the false view is steadily increasing in its presence among evangelicals. This reveals, I think, the influence of culture on American evangelicals. We know that our culture is pluralistic. We know that our culture stresses tolerance. Of course, all of these religions are teaching the same thing. We can't just say one religion is right. We can't privilege one religion. That's an incredibly intolerant thing. Well, that cultural view has made its way into the church. It has impacted the church. And it has impacted the church on what is at the heart of the church, and that is the gospel. You know, Dr. Sproul, for decades, and we here at Ligonier Ministries have stressed for decades, that when we are talking about the gospel, we are talking about who God is, who we are, and what Christ has done. And to say that there is another way of salvation does not understand at all what Christ has done, does not understand who we are, does not understand who God is. Again, the Bible teaches clearly that Jesus Christ is the only way. That's a tough sell. That's a hard thing for people in American culture to take. But the kindest thing we could do for our neighbors is not let them hold on to a false belief that whatever they believe is okay. In fact, the kindest thing we can do for them is to teach what the Bible teaches, that Jesus Christ is the way, is the truth, is the life.